Hello, I'm Rod Raglan. This is Not Your Family, Not Your Friend Book Reviews. Reviews without a conflict of interest. But today, this is part 3 of how I came to write my novels, and it's about my third book, Not Wonder More, Mad Maggie and the Mystery of the Ancients. I'm hoping you might pick up some marketing insights, mostly what doesn't work, writing tips about themes and motivation, and empathy from someone who is traveling the same road and has likely had less success than you. So, you asked, how did you resolve writing romance or literary fiction? And what about your publisher? I had a list of topics I wanted to research for my next novel, including mental illness, magic, natural healing, global warming, and old-growth force, as well as naked ambition, Nietzsche's philosophy on the will to power, and the principle of cause and effect. It's a handful, I know, but one of the reasons I write is to learn new things. I task my characters with personality traits, careers, and philosophies I want to learn more about. How was I to achieve this in the context of my third and final romance novel, and the last in the Echo Warrior series? How about having two people from very disparate backgrounds with conflicting personalities on the opposite side of a seemingly irreconcilable issue fall in love? Not very original, you say. Anyhow, here's a snapshot of the story behind Not Wonder More, Mad Maggie and the Mystery of the Ancients. Magic, mystery, and madness versus logic, cause and effect. Can love find a middle ground? Maggie talks to trees. Dieter talks to corporations. Maggie embraces mystery and flirts with magic. Dieter adheres to logic and the doctrine of Nietzsche. Dieter's clients want to destroy the trees. The trees want Maggie to save them. Maggie says Dieter has terminal cancer, and Maggie is schizophrenic. Maggie says she can save him if he'll save the trees. Dieter thinks she's crazy, but what choice does he have? A week together, alone, on Dead Man's Islands changes everything for both of them. Is it madness? Is it magic? Or is it love? This novel was an adventure. Almost immediately, the characters took on lives of their own. As a conduit, I was channeled in the quest to learn more about schizophrenia and the stigma of mental illness, the logic behind Nietzsche's doctrine of the will to power, and also an exploration of natural healing remedies, medicinal plants, and the ecology of ancient forests. As my characters developed, so did their bond with one another, tentatively, intuitively, and finally passionately. But these characters were flawed from the start. There's no cure for Maggie's schizophrenia. Happily ever after isn't possible. The best they can hope for is an uneasy truce with the illness. Did I care? Not a bit. I'd been taken on an adventure without maps, with no clear destination, and accompanying me were these fascinating characters. It truly was a life within a life. If you had this experience, you know what I mean. If you haven't, I sincerely hope you do. My entire perspective had changed. I no longer was frustrated with my lack of success. It seemed almost irrelevant. I shut down my Facebook page. I quit my time-consuming, unproductive writer chat critique groups. The key to this other world was to become a better writer. I wanted to go there. I wanted to take other people with me. To think that I could set parameters for my writing now seemed ridiculous. I would simply go where it took me, or as Norman Mailer put it, until you see where your ideas lead, you know nothing. My next book was already taking shape, in my mind, and it wouldn't be a romance. More likely it would fall into the category of commercial literary. That would make it unlikely that my publisher would want to take it on. I didn't care. What had my publisher given me so far? Slick, cheesy covers that didn't represent the story. No editing, no proofreading. Readers actually said they liked the stories but not the typos. And they were reluctant to publish my books in paperback, which Amazon would do for free. It wasn't like they misled me or provided more or better services for other authors, for my books deserved better than what they were getting. I resolved to do two things: not renew my publishing contracts and self-publish my next book. Besides, it now seemed untenable to abandon the fate of my books to someone else. I wanted to control their destiny, to set their prices, for that matter, to give them away, to promote with or without restriction. I understood self-publishing would mean doing my own marketing as well. I began researching book marketing techniques and was astounded and disturbed. Most marketing experts encourage you to pander to friends, family, anyone and everyone to get them to post flattering reviews and ratings. There were sites that would write positive reviews for money. There were authors who would swap a positive review with you. If you wrote one for them, they'd write one for you. It was then I decided to make writing my one true thing. If I was going to fail, at least I'd do it with my integrity intact. It wasn't that I'd lived an immoral life up until then, but I'd cut a few corners. Full disclosure seemed the best way to do this. I began writing my blog, Writing the Experience, chronicling my progress, or more likely lack of it, and sharing it, what I discovered along the way and how I felt about it in regard to writing, publishing, and marketing. I felt relieved. I wasn't going to be a best-selling author. The pressure was off. On the next segment, I'll answer the question, how did this new direction, writing and self-publishing literary commercial fiction, work for you? By the way, this is not a commercial site. I'm not interested in accumulating likes or subscribers to influence advertisers or get free books or whatever. But I am interested in your comments. What motivates you to write? Whatever it is, keep doing it. And remember what Nietzsche said, art is a proper task in life.